think so we are live. Okay, if anyone is watching, can you guys confirm me if the audio is good, video is okay, and stuff like that? Or else I'll have to confirm by myself. Wait, let me do that real quick. If the audio is coming good or not, I'll just confirm it. Oh yeah, seems like yes, the audio is good. So which means we can start the stream. I'm so sorry that I'm already 10 or 11 minutes late today because I was stuck in my office work. So we were trying to figure out some bug and we were trying to see whose mistake it was, if it is backend error or if it is front end error or if it is configuration error. So that's what it has made me late today for like 10-11 minutes, but sorry about that. I'm going to compensate that during the stream when we try to learn something interesting today. Okay. Right, so today, okay, so how do we start? How do we start? So let's first start with what we have did in the last session, like what we have completed in the last session. And if you remember that we have did a very basic project setup. We were using this Aspire, as I have told you, like we are using Aspire. And when I went after the stream, when I saw how people are using Aspire, when I saw their code, when I saw some YouTube videos about some famous YouTuber who are working on .NET, I didn't find that they have this .cs proj file. Oh, sorry, they were using the ch proj file to basically have a Aspire project, while for us we don't have that cs proj. And it was really shocking for me, like how is it working for me now? So then I got to know that now there is a new way by which also you can have a Aspire project hosted by using just one CS file, which is apphost.cs, and you can pretty much maintain your configuration inside this JSON file. Okay, so whatever configuration related to your app host project, what you need, you can put inside this JSON, and this is a single source of truth to add, update whatever you want, basically to add in your Aspire, to add in your project. For example, now if you remember that this all has been done not by us, this was been done by AI. And what we did on last stream, that we just reviewed, like okay, what all changes AI added, and we were like, okay, this makes sense. And then in that way we are trying to learn, okay, that's how you set up a Aspire project, and that's how you add anything important what you need in your project. Like for example, we added Postgres here with pgadmin. We made sure that with the data volume, and I have also added a comment here, we need to check about this. Okay, and you can find it here about the documentation. So let me give you a very quick overview about what this line basically adds. It's something what happens, for example, it is same like your Docker container, to be honest. Rather than you writing some YAMLs or you writing some Docker configuration in YAML files, what we do, we basically talk in term of code. Okay, just in simple word, as I told you last time as well, this is kind of similar to what Docker Compose does. That's all. Okay, in a very simple term. So this data volume is something where you want to persist the data. For example, now I did some changes and I restarted my application. So if I don't add this, what will happen? On every restart, my data will get cleaned up, and it will again create the same schema and everything with some empty records. But I don't want that, right? Like I will be doing development and there will be a lot of time I need to restart the application and all that. So I needed to persist my data, and for that reason we have added this line. Okay, same thing. Okay, now let's take an example, like for example, now we already have a setup. Now let's take a look, like for example, I need to add a Redis. Okay, let's take an example of that. Hey, I need Redis to be added so that I can use it into my API project. For example, you need to fetch feedback, and feedback doesn't change that often, so you need to cache those records, right, to make things faster for the front end. How can we do that? So let's see one of the live example, like how to add a new service basically inside your existing project. So for that. If you remember, here we are using all this package notation, and this is what is really important for us to understand, because if you have a CS project, then you cannot see this. Okay, but now we are using a single file approach by using app.host.cs with this latest configuration in version 13.2. That's why we need to add, and we need to tell that, hey, this is what package I need to import. So basically we are trying to import a package, same you do in Angular or in any front end, like you're trying to import a NuGet, something like that. So it's something similar. So here I need to add a package. So I have to say that, hey, I want to add a package here. You give a package and you say, hey, Aspire, as I know the name, yeah, this is how it should look like. This is not Open Telemetry. I need something for Redis. Okay, so I added a Redis package here. The moment I add, now I can do some magical things, and not a magical thing, but something similar thing what you see here. Okay, let AI do what it wants to do. Yes, so we can add where Redis, we can add Redis, and we are pretty much done. So we can also add this with data volume, so that the data is persisted. Okay, and here, okay, this Redis has a reference to our project API project, right? Because we want to use this Redis inside our API project, so we can say with reference of this. Okay, and then we can say, okay, please wait for Redis to get in like initialized and do whatnot, and then only start our API project. So there is a dependency, so that's what we have added, wait for. Okay, what I will do, okay, let me put it just for the sake of, okay, with reference, or maybe we can keep everything together. It's up to us. Okay, with reference is on the top, and then we say wait for will be in the bottom. Okay, makes sense, right? Now we are trying to add Redis, so this is how we can add. So if you, let me show you what other things we get with this Redis. You know, if I say dot, this is the builder package, so we can say with. There are a lot of things you can add with bind, mount. We can say with command, with what command you need, with some port, with, okay, do they have anything with data volume? I remember there was something by which you can get a UI, Redis commander, with Redis commander. I think that's the one. Add commander UI. Yeah, exactly. So we can add some commander as well. This is basically adds. This is gives up a provision of an UI where you can basically do some checks about your key value pair. If you want to visualize things like what is stored inside the Redis, so you just add one command and you are pretty much done. Okay, so now what we did, we added a new thing, and now I'm trying to basically I might be wrong, this is a pure guess, trust me, I am coming with zero preparation related to all these topics. I'm just trying to see if we can add this. Okay, let's go back to our Aspire and we can basically restart this. Okay, let's restart your app host. We do that by saying Aspire run. I don't know, man, I feel very less energy today because I was completely occupied in my office work. Didn't got any break. Okay, so now this is where the UI runs. Let me open up. Okay, here it is. So now it is loading, and now here you can see there is a new Redis, and we have a Redis commander, and yeah, it's running now. It's also starting the commander. So can you see all this is all pulling the Docker, so which means I need to make sure that my Docker is up and running. And here you see, right, this is my Docker, and here you all find you have Redis, Postgres, PG admin, messaging queue, and then we have a Redis commander, and all of them are running. Seems like yes. Now it is waiting for messaging to get healthy. Yes, and now everything is up and running. PG admin just takes some time, so it will also run for sure. But now you see, now we got Redis. And this is what the commander I was talking about. You can go on this URL, and yeah, it just takes some time, and here you can find the Redis commander, and you can see we can add a new key of type and everything, and here you can basically visualize everything. Okay, whatever you have. There is also one more very like good UI which you can add, but yeah, it really depends, like if you need it or not. My basically task was just to show you that how easy it is to add any new dependency or any new service inside your current running project. Okay, again, just in case if anyone has any question down the line, just ask me. I see there is some mistake. Okay, my screen is looking a bit weird. Okay, let me fix this screen. Okay, okay, looks good, right? Yeah, so this is what we did just now, that in just less than 10 seconds we know how to add a Redis and how to add a Redis commander to basically visualize it and do a lot of stuff. So this is what how easy it was basically to understand about the Redis thing. Okay, now for example, now let's take a look at our Excel draw what we have did in the last stream. So today we have to focus on this vertical slice architecture, which I need to explain you guys about what is vertical slice architecture. I will explain what I know already, but later we are going to also do some AI research or do some search something on Google AI mode to basically understand more if my understanding is correct. Then we will install all the real NuGet packages whatever we need during the project. I have a list already prepared, like this is all what I'm going to target for my learning, so we can install all of them at once. Okay, then rest, yeah, we can take a look later all of this. And then, oh, this is interesting one, maybe we can start with this one first. So we have a Scalar API docs we can add in your project. And if you guys don't know what is Scalar, is nothing but your replacement of Swagger. If you guys have used Swagger a lot in your .NET project, now they prefer to use Scalar, and you will know the reason why once. Okay, let's try to add this and then let's talk about this Scalar. Okay, let me open up my code editor and let's go here and we go inside the API. So we are inside the API project. We need to say .NET add package. Yeah, this is the one, scalar.asp.NET Core, and let's hit enter. Okay, so if you guys don't know what I'm doing, I'm just trying to install a NuGet package by using CLI command. If you guys are using Visual Studio, you know pretty much how to do. You just need to search about this package, scalar.asp.NET Core, and that's all. And if you want to follow along, then you can, in Visual Studio there is a way you can use there is a way, I don't know what that called. I haven't seen Visual Studio since last 4 years, I guess. I'm not using it. They have package manager console, or maybe you can use the CLI as well, like just go in the project and use the CLI way to add all these packages. Up to you, whichever you guys like. So we have added this package. I can see this is added successfully, and this is added inside your like Pulse API. You go here in the Program.cs and you have this map API endpoint, and you can say app.map scalar API references, and that's all. This is what you needed to add, and let's go and start your application. So basically what I did, right, if you go on the top, yeah, there is some import here, scalar.asp.NET Core, and you are just, and you know what Scalar basically does, it basically checks for this open API specification, and it just try to replicates it and put it inside a very beautiful UI layer, and that's all. Okay, that's what it basically does, and let's go and try to see it in the UI. Okay, let it get start. It's okay, so maybe next time we need to figure out a way how to basically not run the whole project, because now I'm doing a spare run every time I'm making changes, so we need to avoid that. So we need to figure out a way like how to do it, because even I'm not aware. So we will check, we will do some findings on AI, like how to really do that. Okay, so this is what the URL is. Our backend is running, and if you search about Scalar, yes, as expected, here you can find your API endpoint, which is weather forecast. If you click this, and here you can click on test request, send, and here you can find the response. And this is why I was saying why this is better than OpenAPI Swagger. Gives you a latest look and feel, to be honest, and this is what a lot of people now have moved to in industry. Even in our project we are using Scalar for API documentation, because it is well detailed, gives you a feel of that you're using Postman to be honest. So it's good, it's good. Okay, so this is what we have did. So we have also added a Scalar. Okay, we can just say that this is also done. Yes or done, it's one and the same. Okay, now let's focus on two things. Let's focus on this topic now, like what is vertical architecture, vertical slice architecture. Okay, so if I talk about in term of this, data. So it's basically what you do, right? You try to divide your feature into different slices. Okay, the moment you see, okay, sorry, I just saw a comment which, when you move your hand quickly near the microphone, it produces a noise as if someone grabbing. Okay. Maybe, okay. Maybe it's because when I'm trying to type, and then maybe you might have hearing that noise. Is it that the case when I'm typing? Okay, possible. This is the only problem because I cannot. Okay, next time I'll go and watch my stream. What is actually going wrong? Because I usually am not watching the stream. Once I'm done, I'm done. Okay, but now I'm gonna watch it. What's the problem? But please do notify me whenever you feel it. I'll try to avoid that thing. Okay, I hope it is not coming again. Okay, I'm grabbing my mic, putting it a bit close to me, and let me add the capture value to be 100%. Okay. Performance mode and audio. Okay, it's good. Is it good now? I hope it is better. I hope it is not coming again. Okay, again, let's come back to the topic. The topic was vertical slice. So the moment anybody see the diagram, right, it basically gives you the complete reality. What is this vertical slice? So you might have seen such kind of a project structure where we have presentation layer, application layer, the domain, the data access, right? And what we are trying to do as a feature, we are trying to basically divide them into each slice. For example, as we are creating this TalkPulse, okay, and TalkPulse really require us to have a feedback. Like people can give a feedback, right? So that can basically act as a one slice of feature, and that is related to feedbacks. Then there is something called as another feature slice which we can create about polling. People can basically poll, give some ratings and all that. Another feature you can basically here see about, we have AI insights which we are trying to build, right? So all of this can be divided into a different features, and that's what basically a vertical slice architecture is. But I'm gonna read it for sure, like just to be sure that I'm talking and making sense. Okay, so instead of folder like controllers, services and models, we can have a feature where we have a feature called as create product, and we can have a features called as order processing, right? So basically you're trying to separate each thing into a separate feature. Like your feature is responsible for calling the endpoint, it is responsible for your business logic, which is nothing but your application layer, basically where you write all that. Then it is also responsible for your domain entities mapping or something like that, right? So you just have one file to do all this magic. Okay, and here you see one line which is what we are also going to follow: CQRS friendly. So now we have two terms to understand. One is vertical slice and another one is CQRS. And CQRS is actually very beautiful, to be honest. And we are going to use CQRS to develop our APIs, and I also need to brush up like how do I was actually working with this CQRS like back then. I have a very pretty good experience on this one. So things will be easier, but again, if I am not able to do something, I'm gonna use AI to help me there. But let's see till how far I can go. So encapsulation, yes. So you, this is some of the feature what you get if you are using vertical slice architecture. Okay, independent development, which is correct. Like you are not bothering your, for example, now let's talk about n-tier architecture where you have your controller, then controller talks to service talks to repository, and the repository is basically talking to your database, right, by using entity framework core. Now someone is working on a feature, which means I'm working on a feature called as orders. I'm working on this order module, so I know I want to touch orders controller, and in that I have three API endpoints. So one guy is working in order process and one guy is working in order email, like once the order is done, something like that, right? So now what happens, right, this is becoming quite chaotic. Like a developer is touching the same file base, same developer, like two different developers are touching the same file base, and there's a high chance things can go left and right. But when I talk about vertical slice architecture, each developer thing, like the development basically goes in an independent manner. So that guy has its own feature to work, which is create order. Another guy has its own feature to work on, which is process order. I'm very so sorry guys, I'm very bad with this camera eye contacts because I'm talking to myself. I'm looking at my face here, so maybe I should watch in the camera. Okay, so that's what this vertical slice architecture is like. Every developer has their own way of doing development, and this is quite isolated. You are not touching any like the same file, like 3-4 developers are not touching the same service to do the development, right? They can do things independently if they follow vertical slice architecture. Okay, reduce over engineering, yes, it allows you to start with a simple direct code for each feature, avoiding premature abstract. Yeah, exactly. One of the best part about vertical slice architecture, what I have observed during the development phase, it really avoids this abstraction, unnecessary abstraction. Okay, and which is the great thing, to be honest. Like, let's not I know abstraction is good, but let's not go and abuse it, because nowadays wherever I see, hey, let's create interface, let's have one more abstract class, let's do this, let's extend this function, let's do that, it's not really required sometimes. Okay, so vertical slice architecture really oppose that, to be honest. Okay, and this is CQRS friendly, yes. So the moment I see CQRS, I see this guy named Jimmy Bogart, because this is the guy who created a very great library called as Mediator. So we are going to use Mediator library to have CQRS friendly development. Oh, okay. Let's talk about CQRS. What exactly is this CQRS? Okay. Anyone in the live stream who knows about what is CQRS? If yes, then can you tell me what is the full form of CQRS? If anyone knows, if anyone wants to give it a try, let's see if anybody knows here what is CQRS here. Let's see who knows about CQRS. If you don't know, just say, hey, I don't know. So I'm here to teach. Basically, learn and teach. Maybe I might also be wrong somewhere. A lot of people write articles about this. If you are interested in vertical slice, this is written in 2018, but it is still relevant, to be honest, by Jimmy Bogart. He is the guy, genius guy. Okay, who have written a very beautiful documentation about what is a vertical slice architecture. Okay, but now we got a very fair idea about what is vertical slice architecture, but we are going to use this in the code, and then things will make more sense. Okay, and we have a plan to do that. I think, if I'm not wrong, we are going to create at least one API today, although it is fake, but we are going to create one API endpoint which returns some fake data, just to get this feel of vertical slice architecture. But before that, let's talk about CQRS. Command query, where is our responsibility segregation. Maybe I might be wrong with something, but yeah, segregation. Okay, so this is what this CQRS is all about, right? Anyone has any question, do let me know in the comment. Again, I'm saying it multiple times. So CQRS, what is a CQRS? So command query responsibility segregation, it basically helps you to separate. So it basically helps you to think in a two different perspective. This is what I say CQRS as. For example, this is what me, and now because of CQRS, I think in two different way. I'll tell you what do I mean by that. So now one of my way is this, and my another way is this. I don't want to change stroke, I want to just change the background color. Yes. Put it here and change this to yellow. Okay, so this is what me. So suppose this is what me, and I'm thinking in two different perspective. I'm thinking in terms of two things. One is something called as command, and another one something called as query. Okay, now imagine that you're building a CRUD operation. Okay, CRUD means what? Create, read, update, delete. That's it. So for example, now I have a blog website. So I'm saying that add blog, right? I'm saying update a blog. I'm saying delete blog, delete. I'm saying get, correct? This is what I basically do into a CRUD operation. Now, how things gets different in this CQRS way? CQRS way is basically something you are trying to see what you want. You're trying to say to your program what really you want, like what are you here for. I'm saying that, hey, I want to create a blog. I will say create a blog. This is what I'm trying to give a command. Okay, update the blog. So I'm trying to give a command. Okay, I'm saying delete blog. This is what is basically comes under your command, the command side. Then what is a query? Query is something which you want to get, which you want to receive, right? Which you want to get it. Like, for example, if I go on my blog website, what is the expectation? The expectation is I should get something. This is nothing but a query. I'm querying something to get my blog website to show the data, to show something on the UI. And that's where it is the responsibility of the query. So get blogs query, right? And this is what a CQRS is, that's all. It's more of command and query, that's all. Like, you are trying to do some action. That action is nothing but you're trying to say something, you're trying to do something, those considered as an action. If you're trying to get something, that is your query, and that's all. Okay, this is what a CQRS is all about. So for example, now if I want to create a command, so if I have a command, then that should have a command handler who should handle the command, right? And to handle the command, that command should go and do some changes in the DB. Right? This is what a command is all about. Same for the queries. We have a query, we have a query handler. Here also we have a handler. And what this handler does, it goes in the DB and fetches the data. And that's all. This is what a query and command is. And this is a very, like, you just explain this diagram to anybody in interview and you are pretty much sorted about what is CQRS. And CQRS it has a lot to do, to be honest. So I'm just showing you a few things here, but this guy has a lot to do. This is at a very nutshell what I'm trying to explain here. Okay, imagine here you have a database. So people say that you can have a separate database for command and you can have a separate database for query. I did other way around. This, you can also have this. Why you need this, right? Why you need this? Because if you had such kind of an architecture, right, it's quite easy for you to focus at one point. Like if you want, like for example, let's take a very simple example. I see that in my system, creating something takes a lot of time. Okay, for example, when I'm trying to add a new blog to my website, it takes about 5 seconds, which means I know which area to target. I know which section to target. Oh, there should something be wrong in the handler. So it becomes easier for you to boost the performance at one specific area. You don't want to basically go and change the database, scale it, or do upscale or downscale. You don't need to do the whole for the whole system. You just go and target one specific things where you need the performance boost. You don't want to change everything, so that maybe you change something and that has started to impact your delete, or maybe it has started impacted your get query. If you have tightly coupled architecture, right, that could happen, that could really make it happen. But with CQRS, this is not the case. I hope you are able to understand the power of CQRS. Maybe I hope I'm doing justice, to be honest. Like, I'm trying my best to explain you like what are the benefits now of this CQRS, because people can ask, why are you choosing CQRS? Like, it is just something latest out there and I want to learn it because I am already aware about repository pattern and I have seen a lot of people doing it, and I don't want to touch that again because I know how to do it and I'm pretty much aware. But this CQRS is something I have did only for limited times, like 1 year or 2 year, but I want to do hands-on again. That's why I'm here. I have choose this architecture to build this project by using CQRS pattern. Okay, that is the whole and sole reason for me. I hope I'm going back so audio can be low. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this was my whole and sole reason that why I have choose CQRS. So one of the thing was that you can do performance improvement at one specific level where you need. And now I was talking about the database segregation. See, with CQRS you can do that, but but it really depends. Like, hey, if you want to just create some very simple application with some 10 APIs for CRUD, don't go with CQRS, of course. Again, we are doing it because we want to learn this topic. That's why. But if I want to build such a small system, I'm not going to go with this heavy package or this heavy architecture thing. Like, yeah, you can still rely on your normal controller service and you are pretty much done. Okay, this is something where you really need to have a scalable application. Then yes, CQRS really makes sense in that particular area, right? So they have the use cases, what you need where. So this is what about CQRS is. And now let's talk about these two different DB. I know we are not going to use it, but I'm just giving you some clear idea, like the power of CQRS. Like command can have their own database. For example, whatever you need to post, put or delete, do some this kind of action in the database, that can be done inside this DB. For example, I love SQL database for relational data, right? I love this for relational data. So whenever I'm putting anything, like whenever I'm doing any actions, any commands, I save them into an SQL relational database. It should be DB. Okay, and do you guys know, like now if I tell you that, hey, during I need some more speed during the fetching, so to fetch it, right, you know, right, fetching is quite better and performant in NoSQL database. So you can have, for query side, you can have NoSQL, so that your fetching is fast, and that's how you improve the performance of your system, right? That's how you can do. Now then you will say, Sky, then what about this, like we have two different database. So there is always something called as event based development event, so that there is some events, you can have some events here which basically sync the data. Event for data syncing, for data sync, you can create some event driven development. You have heard about this. So this is the real place where people use event driven development, where whenever there is any action happens, it gets stored in the database. So it basically have a source which basically knows the destination where he needs to send some data, so that the data is in sync. And that's how you really do that. But is it really required? No. If your system is not that, you're not gonna, like, if you don't want to go in that level, so it's fine, just skip it. You can still have one single database to do the job, and this is what we are going to follow. So we are going to use PostgreSQL, that's it, or one single DB for both command and query. And this is also not that bad, but it really depends. Like if you have such use case where you're building something like that big, like a Netflix project or something like that, then yes, it makes sense to have such kind of an architecture. Okay, so this is what I had for you all about this CQRS, and I hope this was clear. Okay, whoever are here, just give a thumbs up or something that, yeah, this topic is clear to you. Right. Now we have some theoretical knowledge about vertical slice architecture, and now we need to do some setup. But before that, we are going to also install the NuGet packages. Okay, and we also need to see the folder structure, like what we are going to follow to develop this project. So enough of theory. Now let's go on your code editor. Okay. Well, I'm going to use a mediator. I just saw a question. I'm going to use mediator. The reason being that you can still use mediator, right? I know people say it is commercialized and this and that, but example, if you're just learning something, then for learning it's fine, because you can create your own if you want, but that's just a waste of time for me, because my focus is not to create a mediator level code. But you can, I think there are a lot of people already on YouTube who did it. So, or there are a lot of blogs which I can follow, copy paste, and I can make it ready for me. For me, it's more about understanding this CQRS and creating all this project. So I'm not gonna create my own. So I'm gonna focus on I just saw a comment and I got distracted. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on using the mediator because is if I'm not wrong, mediator like Jimmy Bogart still says that if your company is someone who is earning more than 5 million or 6 million euro, then only not euro, USD, then only they charge you, or else it's free to use for all the startups, small scale companies, so they can still use it. But imagine you are here, came as a learner, you just want to learn, okay, how this mediator really works. Then it's easy how it really works. Then you know, like, okay, you can implement your own, and the fundamental is still the same. So for us, we need to understand the fundamental and we can implement. You can create our own and implement the same thing and all that. Okay, I hope I have able to answer your question. Dude, you should make this as a video. I don't know, man. This is the actually tricky part. I don't know. For me, I think so. I should, or maybe I can edit the same live video and make it as a video version. I don't know. Uh, I really don't know, to be honest. I feel for making a video, I need to do a lot. You need to do this edit it and do some. Editing is not easy, man. It's not my piece of cake, to be honest. Cup of cake. It's not easy. I tried a lot of time and I failed so badly. Like, it takes my whole day just to edit 1 hour of video, and I feel this is not that much productive. And I don't know. Maybe I will definitely gonna take your suggestion and maybe I can give a try and uh, try to create this as a video. But yeah, let's see, because I still have Monday, Tuesday, like I have weekend basically to think about this and try to come up with one separate video for some separate topic and all that. Or maybe I can come as a project based video, like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Yeah, I need to jump to your GitHub to follow through. Yep. Yeah, of course. Hmm. But yeah, I'll see if I can come up with some videos for this whole project. But I really wanted to be very raw because, as I told you that I am someone who came here for my learning, because even I don't know about a lot of things. I can go wrong somewhere and I want to do mistakes live in front of everybody, and I want to show you guys how I'm able to fix it in front of you all. That's why I wanted to keep it raw. But yeah, it really makes sense. Maybe I can edit this video live stream and I can have a separate video section, because I know a lot of people cannot stay along till 2 hour, 3 hour. So let's see. You don't even need to edit much. Yes, that's true. Okay, now so let's do something now. So as you guys see that we have just one project, which is this API project, and we need most of the NuGet package inside this API project. Okay, yeah, I like your comment, man. So every time I see a comment, okay, I want to answer it. Yeah, but people need to hop on your live stream every day to follow the code through. Yeah, I know that. So that's why I have a GitHub link provided. If you can go on my Git. Yeah, but maybe if you want to see, you have to come to my video and see where I explained this. I hope that's what you mean, or I'm not getting you in correctly. I hope that's what you mean, right? You need to hop on live stream to follow the code through. Yeah. That's the thing. You have to come to my live stream to see what I'm doing. Please come. Okay, just come and just just give it a thumbs up at least. If you're not watching the complete stream, at least give it a thumbs up so that it gets to someone who really wants to learn this, something like that. Yeah, it helps in the YouTube algorithm. So if you are here, just give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you want. It helps the YouTube algorithm so that I can get a reach to the wider audience if someone is interested in these topics. Okay, now let's go to your API. Yeah, so we are inside. Oh, why all this thing came? Okay, so we are inside the API project and we need to figure out what else we need. So I'm not gonna waste my time and I'm gonna explain you one by one what else things I have. So this is something we need. I'm trying to add entity framework here. So we have an entity framework, and as we are using PostgreSQL, so for that I'm gonna add this another package, what you see, which is for PGSQL Entity Framework Core, because if you guys don't know what is Entity Framework Core, this is just an ORM. If you're coming from Node.js background or something like that, so it's something like Prisma and Drizzle. So for .NET guys, we have something beautiful called as EF Core. Okay, and for that to work, I'm just trying to install some packages. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me try to put this package on my Excel so that you can understand what I have planned. Okay, what I have planned. So let's go here and let me show it to you what all packages I'm trying to add it. Okay, so as I told you, right, this is all for the entity framework, like for having a ORM in our project, which is I'm not going to learn all this because I already know. So my agenda is things which I don't know, I'm going to invest time there. This thing I already know, but I can explain you down the line what is all this. Okay, so we need to install this one by one. Things are getting installed. What was the last thing? Yeah, I have installed this Postgres. Let's install the framework design. Then we need this mediator, as I told you, because we are gonna follow CQRS architecture. So for that we need mediator, and this mediator is a very interesting library developed by Jamie Bogard. Let's add mediator, and then okay, so now you guys need to do some validation, right? Some backend validation. So that for that we are using Fluent validation. This is also one of the very popular package, and a lot of, if you are into .NET ecosystem, you must have heard about this package, Fluent validation. Okay, then we have some authentication stuff. So yes, we will add this, the JWT bearer, to create the tokens and all that, JWT token. We will see, because we still need a login page for the speaker, right? So for that we can create this, because for audience we don't want to have authentication. We will create some token for user by using this QR code scanner, right? Whoever scans, we will capture the fingerprint. There is something called as fingerprint what you get captured from the mobile devices, which act as a unique key for a user who has scanned the QR code. Okay, so I know about this, so that's why I'm able to talk, but I can talk about it more when we are trying to implement the QR code scanner. Okay, because we really need to create a token for audience as well, so that we know this is my audience. I think we added already this Aspires Redis. I don't know. Did we add it? Oh, let's add it for now, but we will see. If you need to add Redis in your project, so yeah, this is good idea to add. Redis is Serilog is already there. It's configured. OpenAPI is here. We have already added Scalar, and we can add this when we need it. Currently we are not adding it. Maybe in future I can change it to some different solution. I don't know. This is something what I got from the AI. I won't lie. That hey, I just told him that hey, I want to develop such an application. What list me down what all packages is required, and he gave me a list, and which is pretty much correct. This is what I was actually looking for to have it in my project, and if anything what I'm missing, I can add it down the line. Okay, right. So let's start with some small development, and we will start it by actually creating some folder structure, right? That's the best way you can learn something. Okay, let's start with that. Hello sir, hello. And don't call me sir, call me Sky or Shashi is fine. Yeah, no more sir, just Shashi or SKY Sky, just to keep it simple. Right, so here we have the project up and running, we have the database configured, and we have added all the necessary packages. Just if you need to confirm what all packages you have, you can go inside this, and here you can find all the packages. So you have this item group, here you can find the list of packages you have installed, right? This is good. Oh, this guy has already installed it for me. Oh, this is version any. Connection managed by Aspire. Okay, so do I need to trust this? Okay, do I need to trust this? We will see. If anything breaks, then we will revert back to this, but it's suspicious what it really does. Connection managed by Aspire. What if I change it to this? Okay, we will see. If we get any error, we will take a look to how to fix it. Right, but this is what we have for now. And how do we start? We will start things off with the folder structure. So here we have data, we have application DB context, okay, this has added a lot of comment which I don't want it, we will remove it later. Okay, no worries. I'm just trying to figure out how do we, because we are trying to now follow vertical slice architecture. So for that, okay, we have, okay, cool. So let's go here and we add some common folder, right? Common folder where we will have some bunch of things which is common. For example, we can have the mediator. There is some behavior pipeline from mediator, which is something called as middleware, kind of a middleware basically. Just to tell you, like it is not actually middleware, but yeah, it act as a middleware. I'll talk about that. So we have a common folder, then we will have a feature folder, and that's pretty much it. So we have features, we have common to maintain. So in the common folder, what you guys can expect, your domain, persistent, behavior. Okay, here you can have your all the domain entities. So we have the domains, right? You can have your behavior pipeline, behaviors. You can have your error, like for example, if you want to maintain all your errors, so you can maintain error codes and all that, so you can maintain it over here. You can have your persistent, which is nothing but your database related thing. For example, your app DB context, persistence. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I don't know if you need to use all of those, yes or no, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, persistence, that's what I have never seen. Error, domains, behavior. What else you can have? You can have your extension methods. Yes, so we can have extension methods. I saw there was some change in extension method in version C# 14 or 14, I guess. I don't know what is that, but we will see. Okay. Do we have data access layer and models in vertical slice pattern? Yes, we do have models. We do have data access layer as well, and this is what this folder is all about. So the domain is nothing but your model. I am not sure if you guys know about what is a domain driven there are something called as DDD, domain driven design, and there is something called as this clean architecture which follows this. You can mix them, to be honest, and that's what I'm trying to do with vertical slice. I'm trying to follow some of the domain patterns, and you will see what do I mean by that domain patterns. Okay, let's take a comment. As I'm coming from clean architecture and using repository pattern, there we have DAL and model. Yes, exactly, that's what people are actually using a lot. When I was in India, right, this was the only thing what I know, what I was aware of. Repository pattern, that's what you might be calling it. But I don't like it now. I don't like it anymore. Like if you're building something very huge, it does the job. I'm not against it. It does the job, but when you learn CQRS, when you learn domain driven design, you are not going back. You will see the power of all that. Once you start using it and once you start implementing them in your project, you will see how easy it becomes. How easy it becomes to do debugging. How easy it becomes to do the test. How easy it becomes to know your how do I say, to know your responsibility, like what you have changed. So you know, like this is the file which requires some fix because this is what it is breaking. So you know where to basically target and see the bug could be. It becomes that much easy. But with repository pattern, I know you go to service. Okay, no, service is good. Let's go to DAL layer. Okay, no, DAL layer is good. Let's go to some business logic which is calling some different factory pattern. Go to that factory and come. There is a lot, to be honest. But with this, I think things becomes more cleaner, to be honest. The more your project grows, things becomes easy and easy. So if you go here and you search about domain versus anemic, what was that, anemic model or what was that? Yeah, rich domain model versus anemic model. And if you go in some images, I want to talk about graph. Let's talk about graphs here. Okay, so what happens if you see this graph, right? This is work. If you see y-axis, it is work hour and complexity, and this is your time and sadness, like over the time what happens. So when you start with a rich domain model, like when you start with the domain driven design or domain related models, so this is where you see already, if you see, right, your graph says that, hey, there is some complexity. Okay, and you see the time and sadness, and this is the anemic model, like the way you were using it maybe in your project. That's something your anemic model, what you're trying to follow. So initially the complexity is very less, but over the time this thing grows. You see your time and sadness start to grow, and you see working hour and complexity as well. You see the graph, time and sadness always goes up with this anemic model. But with rich domain model, it is always, if you see the graph is not that much exponential. The graph is still not exactly flat, yeah, because the complexity will increase for sure, and the time and sadness, okay, this is annoying, this takes time and all that. You will still have that kind of attitude, but this is less as compared to anemic model over the time. And this is proven, actually this is proven, and this is also being trusted by me as well. And I really can say about this, yes, this is really true, the graph what I'm trying to show you. Okay, I hope it makes sense. Yes, no, no, yes, just say something. I'm looking at the comment section. Okay, pain point. Yeah. So I feel like a caveman watching this as a SOC analyst. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm gonna make you someone like me over the time. Just follow me what I'm doing, and you will be like me. And again, if you guys have, if you need any kind of consultancy for free, I'm not charging anything. Okay, you can contact me on LinkedIn. Okay, I can help you guys. If you are confused what to do next and what is not going good, what is going wrong, or maybe you can use this. I have my TopMate account. Okay, this is good. I'm not promoting, but yeah, because I do it for free. People charge about this, but I don't charge. It's actually free. It's free. It's free. It's free. You can go and go to the bookings, and you can book something from here. Okay, and you will find something free for sure. Okay, Scope. I hope this is how it used to work. I hope this is how it used to work. Yeah, you can see you have chat. I avoid. You can use this discovery call. We can have a video meet for free. Mentorship, please ignore. It's $5, $10. You don't need to pay anything. It's fine. Like some people use this just they want to like say thank you in term of money, but it's okay. I'm not like I'm asking you to use this one. Go and use this one. I'm gonna still have a call with you, and we can discuss how we can improve. Okay. This is the one you can use for free. That's it. Let's go back. Let's come back to your thing. What we were trying to build. So now here, okay, where is VS Code? Yep. So this is the folders. We will create some files, don't worry, but not now, but we will do it at some point. Then let's talk about the features. What features are we targeting? So we have something called as sessions, right? Session we will have. Sessions we will have. Then we will have feedbacks, I would say. Then there is something related to voting, or there is something related to poll. So in that we can have a feature called as polls. We can create some feature called as voting, where like user can basically vote. We can maintain your authentication as a separate feature that can be here, like your auth. And what else we have? Do we have anything else, or am I missing anything? Yeah, we have some insights. So you can have your AI insights. Okay, you have a AI insights. I don't know the spelling is correct or not, but let me rename this. At least should be AI insights. Okay, so this is what the feature what we can basically go and target, and this is what the feature is all about. Then you have your Program.cs, which is good, right? And that is pretty much it. To be honest, that is pretty much it what we will need while creating this project. Behaviors is something, and now you will be having a question, Sky, what is this behavior? This is something, there is a feature called as behavior pipeline of mediator. So first thing first, I need to explain you guys like what is this behavior pipeline. then things can make sense. Like for example, this is part of mediator, and you can have different types of kind of behavior. Like for example, if you want to do some logging, like when the request hits, request came and the response goes, then this is the response. So you can maintain some logging for your something for here. So you want to maintain some structured logging. Hey, what happened with each API calls, right? What was really happening with the each API. You can also have these traces like, hey, what happened when I went on this weather forecast, this that. So you need to get all those kind of logging, so you can create something called as logging behavior. Maybe I need to code and then only it will make sense. I'm not sure if my theory makes sense now, but yeah, once we will do the coding, I can explain more about what is this behavior pipeline. Okay, right. Okay, so okay, again let's take comment and then we will come to creating file and all the files and all and stuff. So okay, we'll connect soon. Okay, we'll connect soon. Yes, let's have a call. I'm just watching cause I'm interested in trying to get into cyber. Okay, this looks cool. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, so I'm doing creating a basically a website called as TalkPulse. Do I have it somewhere? Yes, I'm creating this TalkPulse for myself. The main motivation for me to create this in the live stream, because I'm someone who is a full stack developer, but since last 10 months I'm not doing any backend work. I'm just doing front end tasks. So I thought, hey, this is not good. I'm gonna forget all my backend stuff what I did since last 6-7 years. So I wanted to brush up my skill again, and so I created one problem statement, which is this. I want to create a talk pulse for myself. What does talk pulse do? I think I have mentioned it in the description, like what we are trying to build. So this talk pulse is going to be something where people can give feedback to me during a, because I am someone who gives tech talks. I do some kind of meetup, so during the talk I can have a live poll. I can collect some feedback from the user. They can scan the QR code, they can give feedback, they can join my poll and do a lot of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to build, and I'm using this all tech stack to build that, right? So yeah, this was some brief what I'm trying to do. But yeah, you can get some more information in the comment section, and today I'm gonna also update my GitHub repository with the readme, like what are we actually doing in the live stream, so that people get aware what are we actually building. Cool. So what where I was here. So how do we start? So we can start by actually doing some brain, because I just cannot do something out of nowhere. First we need to identify and create our domains, and domain is nothing but all your models, right? Basically all whatever you need as your how do I say, basically the models what you were just mentioning, right? We will be creating all the models and stuff like that, so we are going to create it now. And the model is very important phase, because without model you cannot have an application. So for example, your session model, and that's why I consider them as my domain. So whenever any changes happens inside your business, it is part of your domain, correct? So let's try to do that. So here what we have, so in the domains we are going to create our first file, which is nothing but your speaker.cs. I hope AI helps me with the namespace. Okay, namespace, because I don't want to go and create all this. So this is going to be my TalkPulse API common/domain. This is what, okay, the more I write, the more AI get used to it, okay, how it should be. So we have this namespace, and we can create a class. This is what a class basically looks like, right? But we are going to create this as a sealed class. Okay, now I have a question to everyone who is in the live stream. Anybody knows here what is a sealed class? If you're coming from a .NET background, who can tell me that what is a sealed class? What happens if I make a class as sealed? If anybody knows, then do let us know, or else I'm not gonna wait more time, because we just have 1 hour let's see the comment. Okay, I have rarely seen C Sharp used in web application. Ma, don't say that. I have been working in this industry for last 7 years as a full stack web developer, and we use C Sharp for so okay. I personally use C Sharp for API building. So whatever APIs what we build, all the maybe some backend system, whatever we are trying to build, it is all done with C Sharp. So mostly for the API, I don't use C Sharp for front end web apps, which is Razor. I don't use that because I don't like it. So I am someone who use front end, like I'm doing front end by using Angular or React. And .NET C Sharp is just for the backend project for API creation. Okay, so yeah, I don't see any response in the comment, which means I take that as nobody knows. Maybe it's the hype with the JS framework right now, I guess. No, it's not. Yeah, they are trying to basically be relevant by creating Razor pages. Like they have a web assembly for .NET. They also trying to do some full stack product by using Razor pages, but it is not that good. I don't like it. I'm still gonna rely more on the JavaScript frameworks for the front end. Just my personal choice because I'm not also used to with the development approach how we do it with Razor pages. So I'm so sorry. Right. So now let's try to define. Like I really wanted to do this into some documentation way, but the thing is, right. Um, let's try to document it over here. Like what all things we need. So first thing first, we need an ID of a speaker. So we can use GUID ID, and here we can basically set. So what happens, okay, first of all, what is sealed class? Sealed class is something which you cannot this guy you cannot inherit. So nobody can go and use this and inherit in some other class and extend this class to do some magic. So with the domain, if this is part of your domain, so only this class should be responsible for changing anything related to the business use case. That's what the domain basically, the domain driven development tells. Domain model should be responsible for doing whatever they want to change and all that. So here what we can do, right, this GUID shouldn't be set by someone from outside, so we can make this as private set. And who can change it? Only this class should be responsible to change it. And here we can assign it as GUID dot new GUID. So this will always generate a new GUID ID for my speaker if any new speaker is getting added. A speaker should have a name as well. So again, this is important to make this as a private set, and we can just say string dot empty. There is, yes, something like this, string dot empty we can do. I really don't know what this default does. Let's see what is. Okay, this is system.string. Okay, this represent the section code unique. Okay, this is also I don't like this idea of having an exclamation, so let's get rid of that. Okay, he can have a email ID. So we can also do this a private set. My AI can understand this already now, but he's not. Right, so we can have this email and we can have the password. I'm just trying to make it very minimal as possible, not try to add a lot of information. He should be just able to register and log in, that's all. I don't want to maintain all this like a Twitter profile, so I want to keep things simple. But just in case if you want to do it, you can extend the way you want. Right, so again, what we need here, so we need a password which is a string. This is my password hash. I know you must be hearing some creepy noise, so I'm sorry about that. So this is what it is, and yeah, we can just have a private set, which means if all of these are private, then there should be someone who updates it, and that someone should exist in this file itself. Okay, now for example, what do I mean by that? So your domain model should be responsible for update. So what kind of update do you think what we can do? We basically are here to create a speaker, correct? We want to create a speaker. So what I will do, I will create a private static class, static, which returns a speaker. Yes, I think I was getting some help. Yes, this is what I wanted to do. So here I can add something like this. So I'm trying to create a speaker. So what they will pass a name, email and password. and ID is already getting set, which is good. That's nice. And here I need to add validation logic here, like valid email format. We can do this. I'll tell you where. Validation shouldn't be like here. We can throw some exception because this is your domain, and domain is allowed to throw exception because okay, so we will add validation layer in the API near the where we receive the API data, right? From the API endpoint, you receive the data and then you do the validation. But the domain should really know, like domain should be responsible for throwing all the exception because things are not following how it should be. Then we are allowed to throw exception, so we can make use of argument exception. What I know, throw if null. Can you see we have this throw if null? There is a lot of if I'm not wrong, throw if null or white space. Yes, if it is empty or white space, we can throw an exception. So for name and email, we can do that. Okay. Now you will ask Sky, like why not for password? We can do that. But yeah, like if shouldn't be null or empty space, that's the first thing, right? What we need. But we are gonna add validation as well, so that this should never happen. Okay, this should never happen. There is some simplify access modifier, simplify all. Argument exception, argument null exception. Okay, I was already using the argument null exception. Okay, okay, this make it more simplified. See, AI is there to help you, right? It makes you a better developer. So this is what we have now. So now you say, Sky, if it is a sealed class, you cannot create instance, and then how you will like instance wise, this still can be done, to be honest. So we have this static as well, right? We have the static method, and static method you can call by calling the name and then dot create. Like for example, if someone needs to call it, how they can do, they can just say what is the class name? Class name is speaker dot create, and that's all, and that's how they can use it. So but now we are not using it. I'll show you where we need to use this. Okay, but that's how we are going to create. Okay, so that your domain is responsible for the business logic. What is the business logic? For me is to create this user. Okay, does it really make sense to you all? Yes or no? Let me know. Okay, I'm so sorry. When you swipe on your touch, guess the mic noise is very annoying. Okay, let's do one thing, guys. Let's do one thing, and you guys let me know if that really does the job or not. Okay, if the audio quality is better. I'm gonna use my AirPods and let me change the system. Okay, let's go here. Okay, with this, let me change the audio capture. Okay, is there any way I can do it? You cannot hear because I'm trying to fix something and I see the audio is going so loud now. I don't know what went wrong. Can you see if my audio is coming loud or is it okay now? Can you guys hear me? Please need some confirmation. Is it good, bad? if you say I do have a mouse as well, let me grab my mouse. Where did I kept it? Okay, let me activate my mouse and let me keep this microphone a bit far from me so that it is not annoying anymore. But do you guys hear any mouse noise? Do let me know. No. I'm using this Blue Yeti microphone. Nothing is from Mac. I have this microphone. So the voice comes from this microphone itself. I hope this is better. And I'm trying to use my mouse and let me know if you're getting any mouse noise. I hope you're not. This is so annoying. Okay, let me see the settings. Okay, great then. That's good. That's good. That's good to hear. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can still hear me. Okay. Then why this USB audio is not working as expected? I don't know what am I doing. But oh, I hope this is fine now. Okay, so let's proceed further. So what we did, right? We just created our first domain, which is speaker. And this is our domain model, which we have created. Does it make sense, like what it does? Yes, no, yes. I see 3 people are watching, which is good number. Does it make sense what we are trying to do? We are trying to create our first domain. Okay. And this domain was responsible for all the business logic, as I mentioned. But now let's understand about what this speaker will have, right? Now we are still not done. We have to basically understand about speaker will have sessions, correct? So speaker will have session. Correct? We have sessions. Like one speaker can create multiple session. So for that, we need to create a list of, so this is one-to-many relationship. One speaker can have many sessions. So here we are trying to create yes, something like this, but I prefer I collection, I read only collection, because this is just for read purpose. And here we can say private get set. And here I think there is a new way that you can directly just use empty. That's all. That's how you initialize. This is not good. This is good. Okay. No, I don't want it yet. So, and now here we need to have a session, but we haven't created that class. So we need to create our session class. Now we are just trying to create all the domains which is required for our project. First domain is ready. I think this is what pretty much it is. It's very simple one. And now you got to know what domain is responsible for. Cool. Let's create our second class, which is session.cs. Again, we need to have a namespace. So let's have a namespace and let AI does the job. Yes. Now here we will create why again speaker, man. Come on. So we will again create public sealed class, and the class name is session. Okay, I'm just taking whatever response I get from the AI, and we are going to improve them if things are not making sense for us. Is that okay, guys? Oh, that should be okay. So here we have another sealed class which has your GUID, like your kind of a primary key, a session ID you can say. It will have a title. It can have a description. Now, for the description, you could be skeptical, like, hey, people just can create a session and there is a high chance they can just keep it as an empty. So let's have this as an optional, okay? And that's how you create this as an optional, right? This could be an optional. Then there is something called as session status. Do they have, okay, they don't have added it, right? So for example, you can create a session, but session you can create beforehand. You can create a draft session. You can create the session which is like active, or this is live, or this is ended, something like that. Yes or no? So we can create a session, and for that, I'm going to prefer something called as public enum, and the enum is going to be your session status. Okay, this is pretty much correct, right? But like it depends. Like if you are good with this, like you can keep it. If you're not, you can change it. So let's try to simplify this if we can. Let's try to imagine like what kind of session we can create. We can create a draft session. So a schedule and draft is one and the same. Let's but go with this naming. We can have a draft session. We can have a live session which is going on like a YouTube. This is also a session, right? And then there is something called as session which just got ended. So we can say ended. So this kind of what we can have. Can we also have a cancelled? We can have a cancelled session, right? We can create a session. No, no, no. Okay, let's imagine if it is in draft, then it is draft. I will make it live only when I click on hey. The session is live, so we can create a live, we can end a session, we can draft a session. So cancel doesn't make sense because this is not something what I'm expecting. I know what I'm trying to build, so I know this thing doesn't make sense because we are not creating a meetup session kind of thing. Like we create a meetup group, right, where we create and where we create and publish a session. It's not like that. It is something which will happen during the live session. So I will already have my session created, which is draft. I can only enable, I can only make it active during the live stream. So draft, live, and end. That's all. Okay. Let's see in the comment if someone is again complaining anything. No, no one is complaining anything. Good. Right. So now we are just going pretty slow, I know, but we are gonna take because that's the thing. Like every day there is different type of audience. So I don't know who already knows what I'm doing, who doesn't know what I'm doing. So that's why I need to take care of both type of audience and yeah, try to do things in a very, very, very structured and easy pace. Okay. So here we have, okay, so now where is that order? Yeah, so we have 6 domain entities to create. Okay, we will create that for sure. Now session. Okay, so in the description here, we can basically go and have your session status. So again, that is going to be your public. Okay, public session status, and you can have a private set, and you can always create a session as a draft, right? Whenever you create any session, so that it is already initialized with a value, so that nobody else has to do it from the outside. So you have a session should have a join. Like for example, you want to join a session, so you need a joining code. So we can have a public string. Let's see if AI knows about this. Again, this is not going to be optional. This has to be a value. So I can say join code. Okay, and join code is important because without this join code, you cannot basically join the session. So it is trying to be smart, but okay, I'm still not ready yet, but that was a good idea for me. Like we can have a method which basically help us to generate the session, which is good, but generate the join code. But we'll do it later because I'm still not clear how we will gonna proceed with that. Okay. Then what else like we have like schedule date, we can add, we can put it as like we don't have schedule, so we can say started at and ended at, because we just have a live in this, so we can say started at, okay, and then we have ended at. Oh, scheduled at is also important, but we can say created at, like when this session got created, right? So created at, it's something which we will do like whenever we create. We have something called as from .NET, which is datetime.now, which is UTC now. We'll use UTC. And then we have ended at. So let me copy this and let me have it over here, which is ended at, like till how long the session went, so that we can use it for AI insights, our average time of a session and all that. Yes or no? So this is pretty much it, I guess. So let's try to place them, okay, in the correct way. First we create. I'm just trying to make them nice and beautiful. Okay, we create, we start, and then we end. Okay, and this looks pretty much good to me. Okay. Now, what else do we expect? So now, if you remember, right, we have created a relationship here. So how can we maintain the relationship? You need to pass here that hey, there should be one speaker for your session. So here you will create public, your GUID. You have a speaker ID. Come on, you have a speaker ID. Yes or no? And then another Indian will have the speaker itself to establish um, the connection between these two. And that's where you add the speaker ID. Oh, this has already added it. Okay, navigation property. Yeah, this is what I was mentioning about. So we have the nav property as well. Okay. Now imagine now we are going one level above to understand how the session will look like. So in each session, what you can expect? You can expect two things. First thing, about poll. Like as I told you, right, every session, why we are creating this, we can do some polling and we can get some feedback for a session. So we need to have, again, so one session can have many poll and one session can have many feedbacks. So again, one to many relationship. So how do we establish? Now this guy will be one session, so we will say public I read only collection of feedbacks. Good. And then we will have again public I read only I collection of poll. This is going to be our polls and feedbacks. This is good. So we need to create these two class now. I hope it is clear. I hope things are making sense what I'm trying to do. Okay, so these are some of the things so now we need to create these two classes. And this is very important class because this is where the main business logic and everything will sit. Because this is the trickiest part. Creating a speaker and creating a session it's not that tough. The main challenge and main hurdle is for us to collecting the feedback, how the relationship will be, what all properties it will have. That is important. Let me remove this. Okay. Now, uh, just in case anybody have any questions, let me see the chat. Okay, there is no questions, which is good, which means people are understanding it. If you're not understanding, do let me know, guys. Okay. Now we are gonna have these two in future, but let's see what all business logic what we can really expect. Because as we are creating some domain entities, so the domain entities, whatever, because everything is private set, so things should change from your domain itself, domain model itself. So we need to create a session. So this guy already have, it will take your title. This is mistake, this should be, yeah, this could be an optional. So yeah, so okay, if it is not null, throw an exception, null or right, okay, but we are already handling it, so we expect this to be null. So see, this is what I was talking about, business logic, because we really know what could happen. We know we have put this as an optional, so like optional should be allowed, we shouldn't throw exception for that. I think that's fair, right? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? That's fair? Because now you are trying to understand your business logic, how is it, how it has been created. And now we only check about title shouldn't be null because we need a title to create the session. Then what we need a title, a description, we need speaker ID. And what else you need? You need, okay, schedule at why we have created that, right? Yeah, created, and this already has a type, so no point of adding it over here. So we are simply good with this. But you remember there is one thing which we need to add, and that was important, the join code. So whenever someone is creating a session, they should have a joining code, so we need to add a join code. And now this makes sense here. Like you could have done it over there as well, but it really makes sense if you can put it here and you can have some function over here to does the job. Let's see what this guy is doing. I'm just relying on AI now, which is good. I know what this is doing. So we have a private static class. This basically use GUID to generate some 6-digit string, and that's all, I guess. And to uppercase, that's it. So this guy is going to generate a code for us, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so you can use anything what you know. There is something called as a random class, random dot, I don't know what was that, but there is something called as random which you can basically use. Let me see if AI can help me to do that. So we can say return and we can write a yes, something like this. Yeah, random dot share dot next, and yeah, simply 6-digit code for demo purpose. Oh yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, we can keep it as a very simple for demo purpose. Yeah, we can use random dot share dot next to do this. So this will choose any number between this. Okay, makes sense. That's how you generate a random code. and yeah, we get it over here, generate join code, and that's all. So this is responsible when we create a session, but from session we can go live. If you remember, we can go live. So let's add that business logic. So we are trying to create all the domain logic inside the class itself. Nobody external should be responsible. Like for example, what if somebody change my logic? If I keep everything is in business layer, like if you're using n tier architecture, right? So you put everything inside the service, and what if someone uses that class and extend that class and change it to something different? It shouldn't allow. Your domain shouldn't allow. Whatever you need to change, it should go via your domain class. Your domain should be aware what you are trying to change and update, and that's the reason I'm keeping this class name as sealed. Nobody can inherit and do any magic with this. Yes or no? Okay, let's see again some comments. Comments? No comments. Good, good. Things are going good. I like it. Right now, so here, okay, so we have session. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Now we need to go. So now a session. In that session, we can go live, right? So we have to go live. So we can say public. This is good. Void. But we have something called as live. So we'll say go live. See, now your business has started to talk. Now your business is basically talking. Okay, let's also add for end, just to make it things easy and simple. But we will review the code, whatever code generation we got. So here we are saying we are checking the status itself. Hey, if my status is not draft, then only I can go live. Correct? So I need to make sure that status is not draft. If it is draft, then okay, only I said other way around. So we need to make sure the status is not draft, because draft session cannot be started. So we can throw an exception, invalid operation exception. Okay, and then we can create a status with live, and we can start it basically. Right, and same for the end. Only the live session can be ended. So based on the status, if the status should not be live, because if it is live, then only you can go and end, right? Status should not be equal to live. This makes sense, right? Only live session can be ended. Yeah, which means status is there, and then you can change it from here. Okay, yeah. So we are really making sure that we are trying to throw a real business exception. This is where exception makes sense, to be honest, right? But don't worry, we are gonna also have validations, so that this should be rare. Like this exception should happen rarely. That's how you try to create a good application, that you try to avoid exception. And throwing of exception should be responsibility of your domain, not your business logic or not your data access layer. Getting my point? I hope I'm making sense. I'm just trying to share my knowledge, what people have taught me over the time. Okay, a lot of people also taught me what is domain driven design and how it is been done, and I'm really thankful to those people. When I was in Singapore, when I was working for a company called STINM, and I had a really great colleague there who taught me a lot in terms of this domain driven design and all that. Okay, so I'm really thankful to them, and that's what I'm just trying to share my knowledge with you all, like, hey, what I am really trying to do here. Okay, just to see Streamlab, if have any question, Bhaiya, what tech stack we are using? Okay, let's again to show you guys can see the comment section, you guys can see the description. I think I have added most of the details there, but just in case, let me talk. What is the tech stack I'm going to use? This is the tech stack which we are going to use for creating the TalkPulse. .NET for orchestration, we are using Aspire, which is somewhere here running, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we are using Aspire. Yep, and then vertical slice architecture, CQRS, validation fuel, database. Yeah, you can read the list here. We will also have RabbitMQ. We are just trying to add everything, whatever I can, just so that we are able to learn it. And this is a good project where I can teach you about RabbitMQ. Not just teach, but also learn. As I told you, right, I need to brush up my skills. So we will see if I need any help, because there are some fundamentals which is still I know. I just need to see if that things are really making sense. It's been, as I told you, it's been close to 1 year that I have not touched backend, so that's why I could be wrong somewhere. So if anyone who wants to correct me, please do it in the chat. I would be happy to take any feedback. And then we are also going to integrate AI by using Google ADK. And for front end, I'm not going to ditch Angular, so we are using Angular with my UI library called as NGOT. Again, let's do some promotion for NGOT. This is something which I have recently built, guys. If you are interested, if you want to provide some feedback by using it in your project, do let me know. This is a one-step solution. Like, you don't have, if you don't like material design, then yeah, follow this. It has everything what you want to build a project, and this also has covered you with MCP, which you can install in your agent. If you are using some Google, not Google, if you're using Visual Studio Code with Cloud agents and all that, so you can plug this MCP and you can ask, build me a website using NGO, and you are pretty much covered. It will do the job for you. Okay, I hope I have answered that. What tech stack? Let's take another question. But in future, if we really want to extend the functionality, then we need to change in our business logic, which may leads to tight coupling now. This is more about business entity, right? Business domain. Like, you, if you want to change, you can change. No one is stopping you, right? No one is stopping you. But when you see that the change is getting bigger and bigger, which means there is something wrong with the business use case. You can question your business, why we are trying to have everything at just one place, why not split it? So from that's where the concept of splitting comes into picture. You're getting my point. And your code basically act as your proof of concept to the business people. Hey guys, this doesn't make sense. Why are we like bloating a single file with all the use cases in, like, just into a one file? So from there things started to like really make sense. Why not split it into a different class? Let's have a different business use case for this. And that's how you train your mind to basically understand this domain driven design. And be very thankful to AI, because AI will give you a lot of better suggestions. Hey, you just tell them the use cases like which he needs to follow, and then he will give you a better use case. Hey, why not use this, why not use that, and maybe propose in such a way that you can create a separate class, and that separate class is responsible for doing all these things, stuff like that. So that's what I try to mean. I hope that makes sense. And that's why I started to like this domain driven design way. Like, we are not doing exactly domain driven, but yeah, we are trying to follow some of the principles of domain driven design. Right. And again, the typed coupling, what you mentioned, you won't find, you won't, I would say just try to create this project and then you will see, like, and tell me where you find there is a typed coupling. We can have a good discussion for sure, maybe offline. You won't find that case. I can vouch for that. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Let's go to the code. So that's where we are trying to throw exception and stuff like that. Yeah, this is good. I think so this class has mostly what we need. We have everything covered. Yes, now we need to create another two, very important one, I would say, the feedback, and what else, the poll, because this is the real thing what we are trying to build and basically solve with our product. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Let's start with polls. Okay, because polls is the difficult one. We have poll.cs. Again, same thing, namespace. Come on, AI. Namespace. And then yes, thank you so much. That's where I love auto completion, man. This is good. Public sealed class. The class name is poll, and let's see. AI started to understand like what am I actually trying to build, and you see I get a better and better result. Okay, if you see, these are some better results. This is what I was actually expecting. So I was expecting an ID, which is poll ID, which is a grid. We are expecting a question, which we can set it as empty. We can also have something called as like, hey, if this poll is active or not. Maybe we can add that line. If it is already added, no, it is not added. So we can add one more, which is public bool is active, right? And see, if you want, you can like keep it as true, or you can keep it as, hey, if you don't write anything, then this is by default false. So whenever you create a poll, you don't want to keep it active. So this is a wrong suggestion from AI. That's why people say always review your code, what you get from AI. Just don't press tab and you're like, hey, I did it. No, review the code all the time. So I don't think so true makes sense, because whenever someone creates a poll, it will by default active, which we don't want. So we will just say private set, and this will be false by default. Then we can have when did we created this pool. Okay, so this is a better way to do, because this is, I know what is this is the options, which should be in the bottom, right? So we have this created at, like, when did you created this pool. Now I remember, see, I have already worked with such a thing, and I remember I was telling you guys about there was a very important optimistic concurrency. Optimistic concurrency. Let's first try to understand this. Okay, optimistic concurrency. Let's go to AI mode. I prefer this a lot, like something similar to perplexity. Okay, so what is this actually? Okay, can you explain me this? Can you explain me what exactly it is in simple terms? Okay, think of an optimistic concurrency like a group of 100 people all are trying to update a single to-do list in a fridge. Let's take a very simple example. So question first, take a photo method. Like step 1, you walk up to the digital photo. Okay, this guy is okay. I don't like this idea. I don't. In short, you optimistically assume that no one else will get into the way. Okay, this is not a good example. I don't know if this example makes sense because I didn't like it. Okay, maybe some easy programming examples, because I don't get that. Let's see if I get some better. Yes, now this thing really makes sense to me. I talk more of program rather than opening a fridge. So to implement the optimistic for a poll, the key is to use version of or a timestamp. Okay, check during the update. Ensure that you change the data, it hasn't been modified since you last looked at it. Okay, so this is an SQL example where we have relational database and we are trying to update things optimistically with the version. So assume user read version 5 originally. Yes, we are updating a poll option. Someone gave a vote count, and then we create a version of that hey, there was an update happened for this particular option. Okay, so here you can see success if one row is updated, the vote is counted. So failure if the zero row are updated, update else, like for example it gets overlapped with someone else's vote. I hope things are making sense. What is this row version number? It basically prevents the double voting corruption. Like for example someone is voting 2 times, so it will not allow. He's like, hey, this guy has already voted, so I have a row revision number already. So there is something called as, you can use a timestamp, like hey, at that time this guy has used it, so he cannot vote again. You can restrict the user from front end also if you want. Once he has voted, he cannot vote it again, but it's always a better idea to have something concrete, have something bulletproof in the back end, because that's what the back end is all for. Front end nobody trusts, so you need to make sure that your back end handles most of the things. And this is the pro tip for 100. Okay, for high traffic things. Okay, that's what it is, that's what it tries to help. Okay, so we can have it, we can do that in .NET. I think do you want to, I don't know, if you want to read about this, then you can pause the video and you can read it, but it was a lot to read, to be honest, and we don't have much time, so that's why I was trying to skip. But just to tell you that this will basically make sure that you're optimistically making sure that you're not voting double or triple, whatever it is. Just one vote is counted for one option for that particular user, right? So this is what we have. For that we can create something called as row number. Let me just write a comment and let's see what AI gives. Optimistically we can store option in simple no, that's what I don't want. Optimistic concurrency control. Yeah, okay, this gives me a total vote. Okay, this is not what I need. This just gives the total number. Maybe let's try to give him some hints. For example, I want to use a yeah, that was good. I want to use a timestamp, right? And this will be, yes, something like this. So this is going to be my row version. which gets updated based on the each votes. And yeah, this makes sense to me. And then you can quick fix, and you can make it empty collection by square bracket. Okay, this is what it will handle us for handle things for us. Okay, this is for that. And then let's move ahead. So we have options. We can keep the options over here. Now here I already see that this guy has added the relationship, like one-to-many relationship. So this is already been added here, and that's pretty much it. That's what we needed. So now one poll can have where is that? Many options. So options could be your array of string, or you can create a separate poll option if you want. So depends, like whatever is better for you. Like we can go with different option if you want. We can create some poll options which is going to have a separate class, and that class could be your big object. For example, you can okay, let me think. Let first see any comments. No, there is no comments, which is good. Let me think about this area, like what we can really do here to update this. Okay, to update this particular value, let me go back to the Visual Studio Code and think about this, because this option, if you just keep it as string, for example, I'm not able to understand. Like for example, if we have votes, okay, we are trying to create a poll. Will have options, and we need to understand how many people have voted for that particular option. So we definitely need an object. If I'm not wrong. So without object, how can you do that? Okay, let's try to figure out. We can have some. Okay, I'm just thinking, should we store yeah, we need to store options also, right, in the database. So it's better to have a separate okay, let's have this as poll option as a separate domain where we can store some options. Okay, and this is how this option look like. This is the session looks like. Yes, we will create this now, don't worry. We will see what else we can add. Okay, it's fine. Poll option can have a poll ID, it can have a question, like whatever text you have for the option, it can have vote count, and that's all. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's talk about this more, like how can we create a session. Okay, we have to create a session, and this is for navigation property. If you guys are not aware, just for navigation property, for establishing relationship, one to many, many to one, all that. Right, now we need to verify this create. So we have to create create the poll, so which returns the same class, right? And here we are trying to identify if the question is not there. If the question is not there, if the option is null, if there is no option, then we just throw some error at least. Okay, this is different. Okay, sorry. So that is first checking the null, like if this is null or not. So we check it here on the top, and then we check about the options, like poll should have some options. Okay, so this is what it basically checks here, and this is good thing to do some checks here. But here we cannot have a null. This is an array, so why is it taking null? This is okay, this is my bad. Okay, this is wrong code basically. Okay, we should, okay, what we can do here, right, we can make use of count. So we can say options dot count. Can we use it? Option dot count, if it should have some options. So if the option is, so at least it should have, if it is 0, at least one option is required, and we can give that. Yes or no? And this is poll option doesn't correctly, yeah, that's fine, we can create that. So this is the first thing. Let's see what it is asking me to fix. Don't use count, any can be used. Okay, we say if there is no option, then we can do this. Okay, thanks for the quick fix, it has done the job for us. Okay, now we can basically go and create the poll. So for creating the poll, you need two things. You need a session, you need a question, and then you need a session ID, right? And second thing, you need the poll options. To get the poll options, we have two things to do. Here we can create this it doesn't exist in the current context. Why? This should be this. because has to be enumerable. So whenever you're trying to create, you have to pass it as a list of options or list of string. That's what I'm trying to think. This is my options and you pass all the options, because this is how it should be a string. Okay, looks good. Wow, how it can have it in the current context. Generate the variable poll options. We do have it, right? Oh, we have something called as options. Options. Am I missing anything? Am I missing? Yeah, this is the one. Options.create. I get it, guys. My bad. I know AI is trying to give me a good suggestion. This is good. I'll tell you what is the problem. Because we have not created this poll option, and poll option is a separate how do I say, is a separate domain. So let's go and create that first. Okay, now I get it. It's good. Nice. Poll option.cs. You can create the namespace. Okay, TalkPulse domain. Let's create the class, public field class called as poll option. And then yeah, this is what I needed. So we have ID, text, we have a vote count. Okay, we have a poll ID, yes, because of the relationship. Okay, then we can have, this is what it was not getting it. You get my point. So now they have this poll option dot create. It takes the text. If the text is null, throw an exception, or else return the poll option, which is nothing but your object. I hope this thing makes sense. Right? So you can create the text, we can create the vote count, poll ID with the poll option. This poll option, this is what it will help us to create it. Creation is easy because it takes only two things. You get your okay, and then you basically pass the poll ID, because we haven't passed the poll ID. So we need to tell him that, hey, what is the poll ID, because this is poll option, and for which poll you are creating this ID, right? We are creating this poll option. So we can have GUID. It couldn't be null because this will always be a value. So we can pass the poll ID for which poll you want to create this, and here you pass it like this. And let's get rid of this thing. Wow, it's not easy to understand, I know, but this is what it is. This is how you see. That's why. Okay, I hope you guys are with me. Yeah, I can see there are people with me. Okay, let me explain you, right? You remember the graph what I was showing? Let me show the graph again. Where is that graph? Did I delete it? Yes. Okay, let's go and show it to you. The graph was domain versus anemic. Now you will say, yes, Kyle, this makes sense. Do you see? Initially, if I make rich models, you see that work hour and complexity is high. Initially, it's high because initially it takes time for you to understand the domain, understand the business logic, and understand whatnot. Okay, it really takes time. But over the time you will see the benefit of this, because initially it will take time for us to get created. Once it is created, you're not going to touch it. You're just going to you're just going to add something if it is required, which really makes sense in your business use case. That's it. That's why it is like this. And if I use anemic model, you will say, Sky, it is easy, just create a class, get set, you're done. Yes or no? That's, and now can you see, I'm trying to prove this graph in front of you all. If you use anemic model, the way like a lot of YouTubers are doing out there, you can go and watch any YouTube videos with the repository pattern and how people are developing application, any CRUD application. You will see they will create a class, they will have a get set, and you're done. They get it in the entity framework core, they will add the class, they do the DB set, add it, and then start creating the controller with the APIs and all that. But when you're actually working with rich domain model, like domain driven design way, then it takes some time. It also adds some complexity initially during the start of the project, but you will see the benefit over the time. Okay, so be very patient and you will see the magic. I hope whatever I am making sense. If yes, then say yes in the chat. Okay, let's move. Okay, let's go back to our code and okay, this VS Code thing. Okay, now here we have this poll option dot create. This is static class, because static class, what static method. Static method, you have to call it via class name dot the method name, right? You cannot you create a new instance and do whatnot. Okay, you don't need to do that. It's pretty simple to do it. Well, we have this poll option where we are going to throw some exception which is there on the top, and then we are going to return the text with the poll ID, and that's all. Now we also have, if someone gives vote, right? So now this end model is only responsible for doing the increment. I hope if I change it to this, nobody will say anything to me. I hope this makes sense. What am I doing? The lambda expression, you say whatever you want to say this. That's what you say, guys, right? So you can just do this as well, because you just have a single line return, so you can do it like this, just to make it simple. I'm doing this because so that AI should understand like this. I like this way more. So next time when you give IntelliSense, if it is a single line return, you can do this. Okay, make sense? Right. So I just saw I got a subscriber, Hemant Disale. Thank you for subscribing. See, wow. Okay. Oh yes, people are also commenting. I like that idea. I think it's Vraj, if I'm not wrong. Yes, we don't need to create instance with static class. Exactly. And thanks Hemant for subscribing. Okay, I really appreciate it. So yes, that was lambda expression. Yeah, so that we can have a single line return, so that people don't say, hey, what is this line sky? Okay, it's easy to understand. If you have one liner thing, you can just directly have it like this. So now we have another domain model created, which is poll option, which is responsible for doing the increment of the vote and also creation of the option, which takes your text and it takes your poll ID. Now we go inside the poll. See, now we go inside the poll, and this guy here, okay, so now you will see the magic, like, hey, why don't we have that particular value over there? Like, for example, we need to have this session ID. Oh, not the session ID, right? We need to have here the poll ID, because we need a poll ID, right? And we need session ID as well, because we need to create a poll here. Okay, that's fine. Here we need to somehow get the poll ID, because without that we cannot do. So let me identify from where we can call that particular thing, because we are already creating a poll. I need to understand this area. This is good. Okay, if this is also good, this is just a business failure, like if anything goes wrong. And then we need to create the poll. So for that we create a new poll, which is good, but we need to add this, like, okay, I see some bottlenecks. Oh, okay. Okay, wait, I think I know what is the issue. Who knows here what is the issue? Who can help me? I know what's the problem. Anyone would like to try what is the problem, and who can help me to fix this problem? Anyone here? Because now here I need this. See, AI is giving me wrong answer. This is wrong, guys. This is wrong. But what we need here, I need here something called as poll ID. So how can I get it? Who can tell me? If anyone here who wants to help me, anyone would like to try? This is the problem, that I need a poll ID here, and I'm trying to create a new poll, because to create an option you need a poll ID, correct? So how can I have it? Like, who can tell me? I know the answer, because I get it. What it needs to be done. But anyone would like to try? What is wrong in this code? Imagine this is your interview. I'm your interviewer. So what do you think? What is wrong here? Who can? If you fix it, I will give you a job. I will refer you in my company. Okay, let's go like this. Anyone who is watching here, if you can fix, or maybe if you're watching it after the live stream, if you guys put the answer in the comment, I'm gonna, but you need to pause the video before that, and if you write a comment, I'm gonna refer you in my company. in Europe, and I'm not joking. But you need to be Node.js and Angular developer for that. I can refer you. So let's see who can answer me this. Who would like to try? यार हेमंत भाई यार बढ़िया भाई hats off, thanks भाई. You really got you. I hope cheating नहीं किया. I hope cheating वीटिंग नहीं हुई है इधर. अगर AI यूज़ किया है तो फिर चल ठीक है यार, कोई नहीं, AI तो यूज़ करना ही चाहिए. बट या अगर बिना AI यूज़ किए बताया तो दोनों हाथ से सलामी आपको. Like hats off to you from both my hands. Because yeah, you are right. That's what I'm doing wrong here. That's what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, because we need to create the poll. Once you create the poll, right? Like once you have a poll, then only you can get the session ID. No. Wait. Guys, don't get offended. I know you guys are not cheating. It's just a fun. I'm just trying to have some fun moment here. It's fine because who has time to go and do all that? So it's okay. But I'm glad that you guys are doing it because we need real engineers. People are saying that because of AI you will lose job, you will do this, that. So I'll tell you my experience. Yesterday I went to a meetup, a Cloud Code meetup. I'm not sure if I can show you. Let's talk something good about AI because I am going to share what I learned tomorrow. So there was an event yesterday, Cloud Code event, Sophia. I don't know if it can search about this Cloud Code. Yeah, this is the one. I went yesterday. So yeah, it was yesterday at this time. So you can see how many people were there with me. There were CEO, CFO, there were developers, there were backend engineers, front end engineers, they were big guys. This was the first Cloud Code event hosted by one of the really great guy from Resolute. He was the CEO and he has invited his friend to talk about it. So this was the place where we went, and now let me share some of the things with you all what I have learned. Okay, do you want to know more about that or you want to still stick to the coding? Just tell me if you want to stick with coding. I can skip this part. If you're interested, just say yes. Let's talk about this. What I learned yesterday in this Cloud Code AI event. You want to know more about this? It was interesting actually. Yep. I see. Yes. Heyman say yes. If I say one yes, I'm gonna answer it. Okay, cool. Uh, okay. I think it's Vraj. Okay, Vraj. I'll talk about this. What you about your statement when you say even AI goes crazy after seeing my company code base. I will talk about this. Like what these guys are building. Uh, Crazy. This company Resolute. Okay, let me talk about what we got to know first. So when I went there, what I got to know that only um okay, out of the whole population, like the billion population what we have in the world, 86% of people don't even know about AI. This is as per their presentation. Okay, I haven't validated the data, but I am trusting them whatever they have talked, because that's what this talk means, meetup means, and all that. And I trust them, they were all genuine guys. So as per their presentation, the first PPT slide was that 86% of the world population don't even know about AI. And out of this 14%, now we are left with 16%. And from this 16%, as per the PPT, the number was about 1 or 2% of people are only using subscription based, like they are paying for AI models. Like for example, you guys using ChatGPT, paying $20 per month, or you're using Claude Code, paying 17 USD or 20 USD. I don't know how much is it because I don't use Claude. Let me tell you, let me be very clear. I'm gonna use it very soon after this event. I thought, okay, Sky, I think you are lagging behind. I think I should also start using Claude Code. I'm gonna tell you why. So this was the number what they have told me, and I was actually shocked when they say, this is interesting. Okay, Then I was like, okay, I was not aware about this number. If the number is true, then I'm like, okay, then why people are saying AI will replace you? It's just a hype. So relax, because we are in such a community where people are just talking about AI will take job, do this. Nothing will happen. Just be relaxed. I'll tell you what did they told me about all this. So these guys are using whatever code now they build completely using AI. That's what they have claimed. They have showed us the code as well. And now if you talk about the huge code base, Claude has a lot to do, lot to give you guys. So they have different agents created. Like they have their marketing agent who does the different job. They are using this Claude coworker or something like that. What they have a feature, I'm even not aware of that. I need to see it as well. So they have that as well. Let me make the volume bit better. I see it's not that good. Yeah, so they are using all those things. Sub agents, they have agent orchestration, this and that. So they say they are only coding now 10 to 12%, but what they have seen now, the requirement, and they are saying we haven't stopped hiring, they are still hiring, but now their hiring parameter has changed. Now they need real engineers. Now they are not looking for someone, he will do it in, yeah, he will learn for 3 months, then he will apply for next 2 months, and then after 8-10 months he will become he will become pro in his area. No, they don't want such kind of, they need some real engineers who knows what is programming, who knows how things gets built. And I just asked them, like, do you guys hiring? They say, yeah, we are hiring. But now the demand for real engineers are like more and more, like over the time. So which means, so we should stop coding, stop learning things? No, you shouldn't do that. That's why I'm here, I'm learning backend now again, like because I was like, I need to learn this again, because I still need to go and learn business use case, how to code. You should really know what you are trying to build. You should know what this basically code does and all that. You still need that. Okay, so that's why demand for real engineer will be high compared to what you have seen till now in like in 2018, 19, 20, 21 and all that. Okay, so that is the thing. And I was actually surprised, and because there was a guy who, his second talk was, he was a product engineer, not a developer. um, he built about 10 products, and out of them 3 are already live. He said, like, he's live, you can, I'm using it on daily basis, and he has zero programming knowledge. That's what he told. But he learned with AI this programming thing as well, and he started to build a product, because they create artifacts. Because I know when you say that your AI is not able to understand your huge code base, because you are not using AI in a correct way. You shouldn't feed all that one big information and put it to AI. AI, now help me. This is my business use case. Help me to code. No, that's the wrong way. Maybe if you are just sharing some files, snapshots, like some few files, and say, hey, tell me. No, this will also not help, because now Claude has a lot of plugins which you should start using it. They have a plugin which basically goes and understand your code base. There is another plugin which goes and help you to do code review. There is a plugin which helps you to do some bug finding and all. And they basically create their own artifacts based on their business use case. And this artifacts is nothing but some bunch of skills. And the skills is not something huge. This is the skills only. Okay, so they showed their skills. One of the skills that only took about 2.5k tokens. That's all. So I was really amazed the way they are using AI. They are using AI in their full potential, and they know what they are doing. So we just know the top of that iceberg. We need to go deep down now. We need to understand the core things, core fundamentals. I would say go get some certification of this Anthropic. I think that would be great, because that's what I'm planning next to do. There are some certification provided by Anthropic, but for that you need to really use this Claude code. You need to use their product to understand this in a more better way, and then you can give their exam and get certified. I think that is what something nowadays company will look for going forward. That's what I am predicting, and I know that will happen. So let's see. I hope whatever I talked, things were making sense. So yeah, so please, if you are not using AI, start using AI. Okay, start using AI, because AI is here to help you. AI is here to make you a better developer. Cool. Okay, so let's go back to our coding, and maybe we will try to create the models today, and then we will end the stream, and then we will meet again on Wednesday. I'm gonna create a quick poll on YouTube, and I'll ask about what time is better. Some people said, Sky, can you take it on Tuesday and Wednesday, like 2 days, because they don't want 1 day gap. So maybe I'll create a poll, and you guys can tell me if I need to change my schedule or not. Okay. Right, now let's see what I'm basically talking about. So here we have this new, and now if you say you have a poll, you you create a poll here. So not returning it, you can say where poll equals, you create a poll, and then you have to feed the poll option. So you can say poll dot options, right? Poll dot, let just to show you that you get the options here, and then you can have these options which you get on the top, and then you can say option dot select, because you need to go inside one each and every this. Okay, and then you have options, you will denote that as O, and here this is what you need. So you can create option dot create, you get a text right from the option, and you get this ID which just got created on the top. And now here I think there is a way to simplify it by using a collection expression. So this is new collection expression which I'm using. So something like destructuring, they are copying things from JavaScript, that's all. So you can just do destructure and use a option, because this returns a list. And if you still like this way, this is more readable, people say, but it depends. If you know both the way, there is no harm. Okay. Okay, I'll keep it like this because I like this more. Anyway, IntelliSense will help you to convert it into better way, so that you don't get any code review comments. And once it is getting created, because this guy should return poll. So see, the return type is poll, so you should return a poll, right? Now you will remember, right, we have a poll which has this activate, right? So we need to handle them. So how do we do it? Simple, right? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? Pool is already active. Okay, this is good. This is good. But what if you want to deactivate? So this is not good. So what I am suggesting you to do, so you can say public void. There is something called as void. You can say activate. You have your function. You say activate is true, and then activate is false. That's all. It just changes your domain, that's all. So you can make use of activate this, you can make it false to be activated, and simple as that. And I can say your poll, see, this thing took time. This poll domain is also ready. Your session now needs one more thing, which is about feedback, because that was our next thing, because we also need to capture the feedback. We need to capture feedback, we need to capture votes and all that. So let's try to build the feedback now, because that's what it is required here. So let's create that real quick, and then we can take a break, because now I'm feeling hungry. It's 8:45 here. Feedback.cs, namespace, TalkPulse domain. You have a public sealed class called as feedback. Come on, help. Yes, and that's where you get feedback. Okay, now you just need to verify like which things matter, which things doesn't matter. So here if you see, we don't have something called as comment. We are using everything as a text description and all that. So we will go and create thing as public string. Okay, and should it be this? No, because we need to have a text. Without text you cannot have a feedback, as per my understanding. And you can save it like this. So you have an ID text, and then you need to make sure, okay, what type of feedback it is. Okay, so you can also create another enum that this is, okay, feedback you want to capture. You remember I said I can capture feedback for two things. One is during talk, if I'm doing some talk presentation, and one is during the live stream, like how was the live stream, or uh, how do I explain this? Like, okay, for example, I'm doing a tech talk. Okay, I'm saying something and I want to capture some feedback about this. So I can capture some feedback during the talk. Hey, I'm talking and then someone is giving some feedback which I need for my next slide, which I need to show it live. And then there is some feedback called as post, like after the talk. um, After the talk means, for example, the talk is done and now I want to see how was the overall talk. So that is something what I want to build. So for that, again, we can create this feedback type. So we have public enum, we have feedback type, which is nothing but an enum, and this will give me two types. One is when you got it during the talk, this is during the talk, and the second one, it will take from 0 and 1, if you know. This is post talk. So this is, if you see the numbering, 0 and this is 1. So this is what the feedback talk I was talking about, and here you have this. So here I can say public feedback type, and yeah. And okay, so do you think that we should set any value here? No, this should be set only when we are trying to create a feedback so that people can give something. Then we have feedback when this was submitted. Like you can also created ad and submitted ad, so it depends on you. So for me, it is more of an action which user has submitted. So we can say submitted ad, and you can keep, yeah, because if they submit, then you can capture the current date and time. So that is completely fine. Okay, submitted ad. Then do I need to take some rating? Yeah, I can take some rating. So for that, I can keep it like between 1 to 5. What do you guys think? So we can take that rating, or yeah, I think let's keep it. Let's keep this we can keep. Then we can have submitted ad. Then we have a session, which is good. Then we have feedback.create, which we will take a look, don't worry. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, we already have a business logic here, which is good. Cool. So I think this is pretty much it. But now remember, right, I was talking about when someone is submitting a feedback, how do you know that this is coming from a user, a unique user? We need to capture something from the user, like, because this is an anonymous, so we need to capture some if you use QR code, then there is something called as fingerprint which you can copy. So we can have something called as audience fingerprint, which comes from the device fingerprint. So we can say public string public string. Oh, what is happening to me? Yes, and we can have here audience. I'll talk about this when I'll try to explain you what exactly this means. So this basically gives you some unique set, like unique key to identify about the feedback about the audience. Okay, this is really important. And now if you remember, this feedback needs AI processing. You need it. Like, I'm gonna take all this feedback and I will feed it to the AI, and AI will help me to basically give me a summary of, like, okay, how was your talk, and everything. Like, suppose 100 feedback I got, I cannot read everything, so I will feed this feedback to AI, and AI will go and summarize it to me on my email. So something like that, what I'm planning to do. So for that also, you need to add some kind of a flag that that if this is processed or not, something like that. But maybe what we can do, right, let's try to skip it. Let's try to keep it simple, and once we are trying to do something in the AI world, then I'll try to talk on that topic. And if you want, you can also remove this. Oh, let's keep it, because this is anyway undefined, right? It could be null as well, so let's have it. But yeah, we'll talk more when we are trying to implement the real use case about getting a feedback and all that. Okay, then we have this session, which is good, which is submitted, and this is also good. Rating is also good. Fine. This should change to what text we got from the user, and we can change it to text. This should also change to text, and it shouldn't be undefined. This should have a value. As I told you, because without text feedback, you cannot submit a feedback basically. So that's what I wanted. Now this is good validation, which is nice. You can also have a validation for the text. If your text, if yes, exactly, we can throw feedback text cannot be empty. So you have another business logic check here. Okay, what else? So now you have the feedback ready, which will have text. We have session ID. Yes. Do we need to capture something? Yes, we need to capture the audio. Oh, why is it not helping? Yes, audience fingerprint, and then here we have to generate a fingerprint. And this is actually interesting, like how can we generate this can basically come from this can be okay. Let's, if it is optional, we can keep it optional for now. As I told you, we will focus when we are working on that part, so that you are not getting overwhelmed. What am I doing here? So simple is that. Create a feedback, simple, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And now if you go here, everything is fixed. There is no error in your domain. Okay, now I can say that my domain is ready. Okay, my domain is ready. You still have something called as a vote, but we will take a look at that later. Like we need to have one more called as vote.cs, but this requires some brainstorming, so let's do it tomorrow. Let's not tomorrow, let's do it in the next session, because I need to give you some understanding. Okay, what is this fingerprint, when user has voted on it, what was the poll option during the vote, and how do we create all this. So we need to create a vote basically, and this should be another domain. And okay, let's not overwhelm you with all this, but I have created the file. Let me add the namespace, namespace, TalkPulse domain, and public C, okay, class vote. Okay, I don't know what it has given me, but I will write a comment. Will verify it on next session, which is stream number 3. Okay, that's all. And I'm going to commit all this code. I think so. I trust my code, whatever I have written, because we have did it line by line, and I know we are almost correct. So let's go and commit the changes by using some good commit message from AI, API implement core domain models, and API enhancement. No, domain models, and let's put it, and let's sync the changes. So this is what my 2 commits looks like right now. And if you want to see this, you can go on github.com /ysashi. Sorry. Okay, this is my profile. See, you can visit what I do. You can get more info about me, my contribution, my long history, and all that. So this is my GitHub profile, but here we have a repository. I have 230, but you can only see 101. Yeah, this is TalkPulse. So just copy this URL. Can I paste it somewhere in the chat? Okay, but you can take it from here. TalkPulse, I can put it in the description, or it is already part of the description. Okay, so that's pretty much it from my end. Right, I'm already exhausted. We have did about close to 2 hour 20-minute stream. Not bad, I like it, and I hope whoever was there till me, you guys have enjoyed it. And I'm gonna wait for another 1 minute. If you guys have any questions to me, just put me in this what I don't know, what do you say, live comment section, whatever it is. Put it in the comment section, and I'm gonna answer it if I can. If you guys have any questions, I'll wait for a minute, and then we can end the stream. Okay, as I have promised, I also have to write blogs now. So what I'll do, I will merge my stream 1 and stream 2, and I'll create a blog, whatever we have did till now, as a summary. Okay, so that I know someone was asking about how will you share all this stuff. So I can create a blog, and you can find some code samples and a lot of things there, but I can explain what we did during the stream in that one specific blog. Okay, so you have 30 seconds more. If you guys have any question, then do let me do ask in the chat. In the meantime, I can share some more interesting product with you all. If you guys use this, if you guys use Scrum Poker, I don't know if that product is still active. Poker.letsprogram.in. Yes, of course, because I'm not using it. Okay, but if you guys use if you guys do this scrum meeting and you do this, I don't know what was that term, I forgot, I did it today itself. Retrospective, scrum retrospective. So I have something interesting which I built recently, not recently, it was there last year, but I have updated it to version 2. We have a sprint retro board where you can create a room, you can join a room, and everything. I'm not capturing any data from you all. Everything is maintained in the session store, not session. Some info is in the local storage and some info is in the Redis cache, which gets removed after your session ends or if there is no activity. So nothing at my end. I'm not storing anything. So if you want to use something for your sprint retro, you can use it. You can create a room, like you can give a room ID as, hey, I'm doing this for sprint number 10. Your team name is team flash and your name is Sky and you are the owner. Like suppose your product owner will open this, so they can create a room. And if you create a room here, you can find some beautiful options. You have dark and light mode, toggling, of course everyone needs it now. And then you can put here what went well, what could be better, what you should start doing and what you should stop doing. And the good option is here you can find, I have some music option as well, like you guys have 5 minutes to write this, or you can change it to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I think that shouldn't be more than 15 minutes. So you can have it 5 minutes. You can play some music, you can change the music. I think I have five lo-fi options. I don't know if you guys can hear it. And if you want some YouTube video to play, you can put your YouTube URL like NCS YouTube songs, no copyright songs. Like, I don't know if you can take this. You can just grab this link. I don't know where is that link. Okay, let's open up anyone. Okay, you can grab this link. You can go here in the retro board, you can paste your URL and you can click on play. And this will play your music. Because you need this, right? Like people are voting, you can have something in the background, some lift kind of elevator music. Yeah, and you guys can write. Okay, let me show you what you can put. Okay, I like the team spirit for the whole sprint. What went well? Like you write something like this, so you get your name here, Sky, and for example you want to keep it anonymous, you can hide the author so it becomes anonymous, and if it is written by you, then only you can update. If someone else joins the room and if he adds comment, you cannot edit their comment. And this is all live, you all can see live. Okay, if you want to use this product, you can go here, retrov2.letsprogram.in, and this is completely free. There will be no Google ads anywhere, no bullshit at all, because I see a lot of people using some external third party. They have some Google ads here which shows some girl in bikini and all that. So it will not happen with my product. It's all free to use. If you have any feedback, do let me know. And just FYI, this is also maintains in the session. Sometimes if you see difficulty in connecting it, so I would recommend use incognito mode and then it should work. But yeah, this is what it is. Here you can add some pretty much good comments, what went well, what is blah 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 blah, whatever it is. Okay, that's all what I had to share about this. Let's see if I have any comment and then we can stop the session. Let's go. Alright, make a video on how to get a job outside India. Why do you need a video? Ask me right away. How to get a job. So for me, I think I would say I was lucky enough that I was started applying job in the year 2021 in the 21, when it was the great time for all the IT engineers. I had applied multiple jobs via LinkedIn, via some connection. For me, LinkedIn was not that helpful as always, but what has helped me is my networking and connections. So I was actually teaching some people in Singapore. So some people like what I was doing and all that, and they have recommended my name in their company. That's how I got to know about Singapore, because I was not aware about Singapore back then. I only know Singapore is a destination where you can go for vacation. I was not aware about they have a very good IT sector there. So yeah, that was my wow moment. Oh, something like that. So yeah, networking is what something is really required, and once you go outside, then there is no looking back. So you just need to get your first break. Try to be consistent, try to showcase your work. Yes, people say do showcase your work, that really helps, and that has what helped me as well over the time. I'm making use of all the platform as much as I can, and I try to show people who am I, how do I work. When I went to Singapore, I showed them like what am I capable of, so that you build some trust as well. Like some people who is some engineering manager and they saw your work, and if they leave the company, if they're somewhere out, they always recommend you, hey, I know a guy who is good in this, let's hire him. So yeah, based on connection, it really helps. So for me, I had followed the same. Oh, by the way, the job what I got in Europe was from LinkedIn, by the way. Yeah, so LinkedIn has helped me one time, so I won't lie. So I was applying a lot on LinkedIn, and I finally got something good. I was having an offer from Credit Agricole from Navi Mumbai office, which is your previous company, but I joined GEP. Oh, I know GEP as well, man. Come on. You will literally laugh if I say you that. No, no, I don't want to share that. Okay, but I know a lot of good thing about GEP. All the best to you. All the best for your new role. Credit Agricole. Ah, okay. Navi Mumbai. Yeah, I know they have started a new office, and now they are trying to move a lot of people from Singapore to this Navi Mumbai office. Most of the Indian guys. Imagine if I was part of Credit Agricole, then there was a high chance they would have asked me to join the India company. Oh, please say. It's nothing, anything unusual. It's just like um, I don't want to say. I don't know if it is good platform to say about that, but yeah, I don't like that um, company. I don't like the way they work. I don't know. Maybe it depends. Like whatever I have heard, I haven't heard anything good about that company, so that's why. Mm, okay, I want to just I just don't want to make any mistake to say anything bad about that company. But yeah, I just don't like. I don't like the way they work. I don't like their methodology, how they work. Maybe you might be lucky. You will be getting some good project. You might be having a good teammates. So it depends. So of course, I haven't worked in that company, but I have also given interview for that company. And there was a very guy, a big guy, when I was in my last round, and I don't know. Yeah, of course, of course. I also didn't like the work culture there. Whatever I have heard, I didn't like it, so that's why I don't want to be in such space, to be honest. Because I need a good space to really, so that my mind can work, so that I can collaborate and I can make some good product. So simple as that. One of my very close friend, very close friend, who was part of GP for like so many years, like 3 to 4 years. But yeah, but I hope you are getting some good money there. Yeah, I know they are low code platform, low code, no code. I know a lot of, like, you have a lot of people there. Yeah, but code quality is worst. So you are there, so make sure you make the improvement. So take that as a challenge. I hope you will make it. Just make sure your manager gives you enough time. Okay, don't try to overwhelm yourself by doing late night work and all that. I don't encourage that. Please don't do it. Make sure you stick to your. I think this advice I'm going to give it to everybody out there. Please stick to your schedule of your office work, what it is been told to you in your contract. And if you really want to invest something, so like if you really want to do some coding outside of your working hour, please do it for yourself. Build your own product. Don't build anything for company after working hours. Try to upskill yourself during that time. Okay, I know for someone who is working in India with those Indian mentality, like the people who are around, it's hard to do, but yeah, please try to follow it. Please try to follow it. Trust me, in my company, nobody will appreciate if I do office work out, like outside my office hour. They are not happy about it. Though they don't get happy about this. I really like my manager. He's the best. I don't know if he watch my stream, but yeah, if he's watching it, you are the best. Yeah, he really supports me. He really knows what I need, and that's what I like. It's very messy and not at all developer friendly. Yeah. I know. They have all these packages exposed. They expose all these packages. Yeah, use this package, bundle this package, get this package version, install there. I know they create such kind of a platform. I haven't seen their code base, I won't lie, but yeah, I have heard all of this, whatever you are mentioning now. Okay, so any other questions you have, or else we can just say goodbye to each other. And I hope this session was helpful. And yeah, I don't know if I have any subscription here, but yeah, you guys can follow my blogs here, which you will see it very soon. Here we have work timing is 12 to 9. I know that's Euro time, but daily needs to extend 3 to 4 hours, which is not good. Do not play with your health, guys. Do not. I also need to learn that, because yeah, I'm investing time in myself, not in the office work, but yeah, I'm doing a lot of things for myself. I'm learning all this and all that, but yeah, I need to also do some time management and focus on my health, which I will do for sure now. Go for some walk, go for some jogging, do some 1 hour of gym and something like that, just to keep myself fit. But yeah, that's part of something which I need to do next. Okay, so yeah, that's all from my end, guys. Take care, bye bye, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.